Hey everyone, in this video, a lot of stocks to go over, a lot of short squeeze setups, a lot of plays just ripping face going to that moon, going vertical, guys. If you've been enjoying the videos and the daily trading days, appreciate it. Like the video, comment down below anything. I like reading comments. So today was a lot of runners in pre-market. I mentioned HTOO. This one I mentioned it around $7. I saw it around 6 and just a ripping face vertical. It went to 15.21. That's almost a $10 a share move. So this one had a micro float and the move was very quick. I believe it had news too. So the thing with low floater, I mentioned in the past, any stock under 30 million float is low float, in my opinion, right? So the lower the float, the reason these moves up happen really quickly, because think about it, like supply demand. If there's only so little amount of float and then you see huge volume hitting tape, it ends up just ripping face. So I hope people banged on this name. This was one of my favorite setups today. And it's not just the first move up that has potential, right? If you see a stock moving up a lot, like HTOO, you could look for dips, and this one provided many opportunities. For example, this stock, as soon as it went to the VWAP area, it bounced off of it really nicely, and then it ran multiple dollars, and then it curled over, made technical pattern, and then it made a new high. So there's like a lot of times where you could bank on a trade even if you missed the initial pop. So that was HTOO. There's a lot of trade ideas honestly today. Next one, WLGS. This one is a micro penny I mentioned yesterday, right? And then this made a massive gap up in pre-market. The thing with micro pennies, any stock under 5 cents, 25 cents, is that even if it moves a few pennies, it may not seem like a lot, because to some people, if you see a stock move 3-4 cents, you might not really think it's a lot, but you have to think in terms of percentages when you're talking about penny stocks, especially stocks under 25 cents. Because think about it, even if it just moves 3 cents, that could be 100% move, or that could be a 50% move. So if you put in, let's say a couple $1,000, let's say $2,000, if something goes up 50%, that's $1,000 in a day. And everything I say in my video, not financial advice, and it's just my opinion, and I'm just sharing opportunity, right? So that's the way you want to think about it when it comes to trading penny stock. It's more about percentages. So WLGS, looking at right now, it really needs to break that flat top. I'm recording the video earlier than usual so I can speak louder. But WLGS, you really want to see over 8 cents. Hold, the stock just seems to keep whipping around, which is common. I said in the 2 videos ago, I said that micro pennies, they often tend to have a lot more, thicker type of action compared to the pulling away like HTOO earlier, right? This stock's around $5. So that was WLGS. I know a lot of people tagging me on this stock saying to look at it. And it made a really nice move. So shout out to you guys if you mentioned it yesterday as well. I see all the stocks you mentioned on StockTwits or Twitter. So if you are bullish on a stock or even bearish on a stock or see any news, just tag me on StockTwit, Twitter, or even YouTube. I check all the comments, and if I forgot to reply, it's not personal. It's just that I get too many messages, so I might forget. So just do it again. Message me again, or you can send a private message on Twitter or YouTube. So that was WLGS. Next one, DFLI. This one was another penny. I mentioned it pre-market. I think it was around 750, right in the beginning, right? I started mentioning trade ideas around that time. And then DFLI, I saw that it was curling, right? So when a stock is curling, it doesn't always bounce a lot, but you really want to have that confluence. You want to see multiple factors. I said many times when you're trading, not just small cap, but even large cap or any stock in general or crypto, when you're trading, the more factors you have, the more edge, like the more like the stars align, right? You don't want just you don't want just like, throw a dart at a stock just randomly. You want to have multiple factors that match with your statistics as well, right? So if you look at your performance, again, everything I say not financial advice, I just genuinely want to help people, right? But let's say if you look at your performance and you see you do really well with pennies, or you do really well with a certain type of setup, whether dip setup, and then the stock is presenting that opportunity. For example, DFLI, it made a new high and then it was just dipping. It was dipping and then curling. That's multiple factors, right? And then this stock broke that flat top, and then you saw after open psychological pivot 50-cent break, it just ended up ripping face all the way 67 cents. That was like over 100% gap. DFLI after open, I saw it was up over 100%. So that was a really big gain. So open, this stock was a multi-day runner, right? I mentioned it many times. I think around $1. It ended up just ripping face to almost $5. So thing with multi-day setup, and this is a short squeeze theme name actually. This one I heard a lot online. I think it was Reddit. A lot of people talking about short squeeze lately. I said this morning as well as I think last week I talked about how short squeeze theme is gonna be really hot. And I'm gonna be going further in depth into that later in the video. But yeah, this is a multi-day setup. Looking at it right now, the price action is kind of heavy. But again, this is one of the more heavier flow stock. Right, I mentioned in the past, if the stock is thicker, like high float, and in combination with the higher market cap, is gonna be thick, like slower type of action. And the volume really has to overcome that, right? And looking at the volume right now, it is definitely really good. It's over 500 million volume, but the more the better, right? When it comes to these heavier stocks, you really want to see just like insane volume. So open, I mean, this could still run multi-day. This does look like similar to a bear trap, but it looks kind of heavy as of now. I really want to see it holding $3 on larger time frame, and yeah, that was open. So there's a lot of plays today. KSS, this one, Coles, man, this stock probably made a lot of people happy. I mentioned this stock around $11. I saw it like on my chart, right? It was starting to pull away $11. I said it's going vertical, and that wasn't even up a lot. The previous price point was 1065, and then it was at 1165. It was starting to move. I mentioned it, and then just went to like space. It went galaxy. It went to 2139. That's a $10 share move. And this is one of those larger cap stocks, right? Those more bigger stocks. So I don't know if you guys do options or this stock just went vertical. So this was one of the short squeeze type of theme stock, because this is a clothing company, right? If you remember in the past, I don't know if you guys traded during that time, but I was very active. This was like 5 years. This was a long time ago. Where remember there was EXPR clothing company, Express Clothing Company. I actually see those stores in my area, and I see Kohl's as well. But these type of stocks, they have a lot of attention because it's not just about fundamental short squeeze aspect, but it's more like a meme, right? If you know what that means, it's like, you know, GameStop. It's like a meme type of stock, as well as there's many more I'm gonna be going over later. But Kohl's, this one was massive, $10 share move. Again, if it may not seem like a lot because it's more of an expensive stock, it's not more like micro cap. But think about it. You add a 1K shares, $10. That's $10,000 in an hour. And people, they work so hard just to make, little money nowadays. But you see these type of plays every day, guys, and not just one day. It's not just today. Every day I share these opportunities. It's time scamps and crazy, guys. So how people banking. So FFAI, this one is mentioned that it was going vertical. And thing is, when a stock goes vertical, oftentimes it goes higher. Not all the time, as you gotta manage your risk, but most of the time when a stock goes vertical, the reason is going vertical is because there's a lot of volume. And I said yesterday's video, oftentimes when it comes to stocks, not just small caps, but even we're talking about bigger stocks like Netflix, or even looking at the overall SPY, right? Most people, they think, oh, it's too high, it's gonna crash, it's too overvalued, it's too, you know what I mean? Like, they just keep formulating opinions, and they may be right in their mind, but when it comes to stock or anything, it's all price action related. So you could say that something's too high, but if the price action is showing that it just keeps wanting to go higher, and higher, you get stubborn, you get put. What happened? You get mega squeeze, and that's exactly what's happening. With every day I see small cap where a stock looks like it's the top, right? It's like peaking out. It's already up 50%, and then this ends up making another move up, another 100%, another 100%, and that's the theme that's been happening every year, ever since the 19, right? Ever since 2020. And these type of moves happen every day. So FFI, I mentioned it earlier, closer to 2, it's already at 3+. So that was a really nice move. Next one, CDLX, the same situation where it was starting to pop, and then it just keeps making new highs. And right now, looking at it right now, it's just constantly making new highs. It's about to break the previous high as well. CDLX was a really nice play. PLRZ, another one. This one is short squeeze type of name, right? Short squeeze theme. And this is also micro floater, 5 million float, so that's really nice. And I mentioned this stock early, right as it was starting to perk. around 120 and then ran all the way to 187. Right now, it's starting to form multi-top, which is not bullish, but this is a short squeeze type of name, right? So it's also more on the fundamental side. So that was PLRZ. There's a lot of stocks, guys. I'm also going to be talking about GNS. You guys really like that stock, GNS, as well as, let me see TMC right now. TMC right now is bouncing off of that support. Looks, daily chart looks really good on TMC. What else? Yeah, so those were pretty much the recaps, and now the short squeeze stocks, right? So if you go online, you could look up yourself on short squeeze which stocks have the highest short float, the biggest short percentage, right? And there's a free website I use every day, finviz.com. There's many more free websites I use. And I mentioned in the past that you don't have to use money to make money, right, in trading. There's a lot of opportunity where you could learn everything for free, which is what I say every day, right? I really don't want people, again, it's not financial advice, and people can ultimately do what they want with their money, but in my opinion, I wouldn't waste, thousands of dollars. So finviz.com is a free website. You can look it up, finviz.com. So this one, you could check everything like fundamental data. You could check the short float as well. Sometimes it's not accurate, but most of the time it is. So looking at it right now, you could go Finviz or when you're free. So finviz.com, there's a setting where you could set it to high float. Look at it right. If you look at it right now, over 30% short float. That's a massive percentage. We're talking about a company 30%, 50% short float, right? So going over these lists, I can't go over every single stock because this video is going to be like 5 hours. But just looking at some familiar names, if you guys know any familiar names as well. ALT, this one I mentioned many times. But as soon as that bounce, the decap bounce, set up ALT, I mentioned it around starting 3s, and then it starts perking up closer to 5, and it looks like a really high short float percentage. ALT is a bio stock. A lot of people probably short on that because, like I said in the past, the thing with biotech company, a lot of bears get attracted to it because they often don't have a lot of cash, right? And the thing is, a lot of bears, they like to have fundamental thesis where they say, oh, this bio company is not going to meet their pipeline. They're not going to have successful trials, or it's just a rat study, or it's just a patent, you know what I mean? They like to create argument where biotech is going to fail. So you see a lot of bears on top of bios. And that is why bios have the biggest squeezes throughout history. As long as I've been doing stock, I've been doing a couple of years now, many years. And I see biggest squeezes in bio stocks. So that's ALT. AMIX, I mentioned this yesterday. I didn't know it had a really high short percentage. AMIX. APLD, this one I mentioned many times. This is a larger cap. ASTI I mentioned as well. AVXL, this is a healthcare type of company. BBLG, I remember banking on this really hard way back during that 20 days, right? BGL, this one was a former supernova. The thing is, when a stock runs really big, like BGL, this one ended up just gapping like 1,000% or something. Remember that time it went from $4 to almost $200. I mentioned that one early too, BGL. I don't know if you guys remember that. Looking at it right now, I think people are already catching on. It's up 18%, and people are starting to look it up as I'm making a video. And I'm probably gonna post as well. So BKKT, this one I think is it crypto, or I remember the stock BKKT, Beyond Meat. This is another similar situation to Kohl's and GameStop. Beyond Meat, I remember, is a really popular company, the short squeeze team. DNA, I remember this one. DNA is a nice, I banked on this one, I remember. I think DNA. EOSC, this one is an energy type of name. If you guys have any stocks as well, write down comments, message me, guys. I read all the comment, and I like sharing trade ideas to help a lot of people, right? So you guys can help people, and I can help people. We're just trying to, do that. So flwsflowers.com, I remember that one. So GCTK, this is a diabetes name I mentioned yesterday, right? GCTK, Groupon, another popular company. GVH, this one halted up like twice today. HIMS, this is another one I mentioned many times, just gapping up like crazy. Husa, you guys already know I like the oiler plays. I like banking on them. Husa, it's probably big short percentage. INMB, I remember this one. Kirk, this is a nice one. Kirk, I should mention this one. Kirk is going up right now, actually. It's up 20%. Yeah, this is a nice one. Short squeeze percentage. Kirk Company. KSS, close, that was today. KWM. K-Wave, this one is a nice one. We bang LCFI, another really good one. LCID, Lucid. Oh, this one I mentioned as a multi-day runner. Swing trade runner, remember 2 days ago? I think it was around like 295 or 3. That's another one. Lucid. M10. M10 was halting up yesterday, I think, like twice. NAS. This is a SPAC, I think. NAAS. This one actually halts up a lot. Maybe add it to your watch list. NAAS. NAS. Next, NAOV. This one, a very popular name. NVAX. That's the vaccine company, right? NVTS Semiconductor. OGen. Oh, this one I like in the past. OGen is a bio. PLC, Children's Place. I mentioned this on Stock today, so starting to have nice action. PLCE. Quantum Corp. QMCO. Riley, this is another nice one. Riley, RKT, Rocket. Really nice one as well. SAFX. SLRX, this one is thin. I remember banking on SOUN. This one is AI, really nice name that keep running multi-day, like BBAI. I mentioned that. SOUN, soon, BBAI, and AI, right? So yeah, you guys can also look up other websites as well. There's other websites, many resources for free that you could look up, and there's also some paid resources as well where they really track down the short data. So VSTM, nice one. Wint, I remember this one. Over one key walk. This is those Chinese type IPOs, right? Chinese IPO, definitely watch. WOOF, oh, this is a multi-day runner. ZBio, I know this one. ZBio and YAS. So there's a lot of stocks, guys. If you look online, there's a lot of potential for short squeeze. I'm telling you guys, there's a lot of potential and money to be made in these type of plays, short squeeze type of themes. And also Ader, that's another meme type of stock that people were talking about, messaging me. MVIS, Microvision, MBIS. This one is a popular stock. And looking at it right now, people are, someone told me on Twitter that this could also be an angle. Looking at it right now, higher float, but the chart looks really nice. Daily chart, look at this daily chart. Range on the stock, massive range. And this is a Microvision. I know the stock. So guys, if you have any other stocks, write down in the comments. I'm looking up right now live. If you appreciate the video, guys, live, I don't do any like script or any type of BS. Like I just tell it how it is, guys. I'm doing this live with you guys. So if you appreciate the live trade ideas as well on Twitter, let me know, guys. I share trade ideas live, like within a second. Thing is, sometimes, you know, if you see my trade idea, you see that sometimes I only write one word, right? Like for example, Perkin, volume, new high. The reason is because the stocks move really quick, especially these low flow stocks. They rip like 50% in like a minute, not in like seconds. 100%, 50%. Some stocks even halt up instantly. So if think about it, type in a paragraph, and everything I say is not financial advice, and it's just entertainment in my opinion. But let's say I read a paragraph and then the stock's already up 50%. That's not really optimal, right? So I really want to share trade ideas, in my opinion, to give the best opportunity, right? The most range, so that people could, you know, do well. Instead of mentioning something after 2 hours later, right? After it's up 200%. So WOOF, this one, WOOF, this one I mentioned it early in the morning time on stock and Twitter. Looking at it right now, it's just starting to go perking up. It's just really nice action. It's just starting to flow up. I think this could break 4+. By the time this video drops, maybe it will. But this is another name you got to keep an eye on, WOOF. And there's many stocks, guys. I could go on and on, but I don't want to make the video too long. Let's talk about GNS real quick. This stock, a lot of people like. GNS is a very stock with the story behind it. So if you do more research on GNS, this stock and GameStop and all these short squeeze type of theme stocks have a really like connection, right? In terms of the CEO, what he's trying to do with the movement And I really like how the CEO, I said many videos, I don't want to repeat the same thing, but I really like how he's so active. You could check on Twitter, like him and Kevin Malone, they're just so active. And the reason I keep mentioning this is because I've been trading small cap many years, because since like 7 years I've been in stock. And most of the time, I'm telling you guys that most of the time, like more than half of the time, the owners of the companies, they don't respond at all. Like they're not active. They seem like they don't even care. But these CEOs, they're just so active, and they in my opinion, they think, I think that they really do care, right, about the owners, the share owners. And GNS, I said many times, technical wise, it's not bad at all. Look at the daily chart. Like, it's just forming that base. I said many times that you're gonna have people probably taking profit, because remember, this stock used to be 40-cent stock. No, this stock used to be 21 cent. I've been mentioning this stock around 50 cent, and then it went all the way to almost $2. I say a massive move up, but I didn't know the stock was under that. I thought I mentioned it around the beginning of the move, 50 cent, but the stock used to be 21 cent back in April of 2025. So it's still not up that much. I mean, look at the zoom out the daily chart. Look at this. Like, the daily chart range is insane on this stock, combined with the fact that it has Bitcoin connection. And if you look at Bitcoin, it's just constantly having really bullish price action. I saw people online saying that Bitcoin could even hit, like, what was it, 1 million or something like that. And Bitcoin right now, as I'm recording the video, it's about to break that previous resistance. And GNS, I know there's a lot of catalysts coming for it probably, and you really want to tag me, guys. If you see news on GNS, just message me, because I really want to help make a video and also talk about GNS as well, because a lot of people, I'm telling you, really like GNS, and they keep liking my posts and they keep mentioning it to me. And looking at it right now, I do think that this stock definitely still has potential. I mean, look at this chart. Like, if it breaks that upper line, if you're seeing on the technical chart, next level is 2. I'm telling you guys, next level $2. And the CEO, Roger Hamilton, he said today, this is just today, he said that over 46%, so pretty much half of GNS's float is locked up. And I'm doing this live, guys. He said that for investors interested, so this is what they said, guys. I'm not making this up. I'm not having a script. I literally just typed it right now. We're just so active online. So GNS, I do think that the stock could keep continuing higher. And this, again, got to keep it on the watch list, guys. The short squeeze type of stocks. So if you guys been appreciating the videos, guys, like the video, guys. Sorry about the audio. Sometimes it can get choppy and low, but I'm trying my best to speak louder and also get material that blocks the wind, right, and makes better audio. So I'm gonna see you guys again in pre-market every morning. I'm there, and I'm just trying to help people, guys. All right, so have a great day, guys. Signing out. Stock catcher.